Hello students, welcome to Learn Guru. This is the first video in this channel. So we are going to start with class 9 standard general mathematics. So before digging, the first chapter is number system. So before digging into number system, we should know what is a numbers. Numbers have become an integral part in our day-to-day life. We use numbers everywhere, every time. Okay. For example, if you go to the market to buy something, you have to specify the quantity. For example, 5 kgs of rice, 10 mangoes. So what is 5 kg of rice? 5 kg denotes the quantity of rice you want to buy. Okay. Then another example is there are 7 days in a week. 7 represents the count of the number of days in a week. I have 100 rupees in my wallet. So there are several examples which denotes quantities. And how can we define numbers? Numbers are nothing but representation of quantity or count. Numbers come in various forms. So we can broadly classify numbers into two types. One is real number and the other one is imaginary number. What is a real number? What is the literary meaning of real? Real means something that is actual, that is true. Okay, so we use real numbers every day. The numbers that we use every day in our day-to-day life are real numbers. Like common example, there are 10 mangoes in the basket. So you can count those 10 mangoes, isn't it? So these are the quantities, real numbers are the quantities that represents quantities related to the practical world. Real numbers are the numbers that represent quantities related to the practical world. Okay. On the contrary, when we talk about imaginary number, what is the literary meaning of imaginary? Imaginary means something that is not real. Okay. Example of imaginary number, I can say, let me take an example. 5i is an example of an imaginary number, where 5 is a real number and it is accompanied by an imaginary notation. So whenever any real number is accompanied by an imaginary notation I, makes it an imaginary number. Okay, so we are not going into the details of imaginary number. You will study imaginary number in your higher classes. So we will focus only on real numbers. Okay, to understand real numbers better, okay, I will take 4 examples. Okay, so from these 4 examples, we will show you the numbers that are represented. I will try to justify that these numbers are truly real numbers or not. So these are the 4 sentences that are the examples of the quantities mentioned are the examples of real numbers. So let us come to the first sentence. There are 10 mangoes in the basket. So 10, definitely 10 represents a real number because you can count those mangoes. So what does this quantity represent? That these quantities represent quantities related to these numbers represent quantities related to the true world or actual world. So 10 is a real number. John scored 0 in mathematics. Yes, 0 is also a real number because the sentence that is there can also be related to the true world. John has not studied anything in the exam and for that he has scored 0. So we can say that 0 is also a real number. Sita gave 3/4 of the apple to her sister. So what does that mean? That means that 1 apple is there. Okay. 1 apple is there. Forgive my drawing. Okay. So 1 apple is there. So this apple is divided into 4 equal parts. So she has cut the apple into 4 equal parts, and 3 parts she has given to her sister, and 1/4 part she has kept for herself. Okay, so Sita gave 3/4 of the apple to her sister. Also represents a number that also happens. That number signifies amount or quantity that happens in the true world or actual world. So we can say that yes, 3/4 is also a real number. Okay. Next is the temperature of London has fallen down to -4 degrees centigrade. So we all know that London is a very cold place. So often temperature falls down to negative scale. So -4 degrees centigrade also represents a number that represents quantities related to the practical or true world. So -4 is also a real number. So the numbers mentioned in these 4 sentences are all real numbers. Okay. Now if you notice the type of real numbers written or mentioned in the 4 sentences, have you ever thought that one form of this number is different from the other? Yes? Yes. 10 is one type, 0 is one type, 3/4 is one type, -4 is also one type. So from that, what can you conclude? You can conclude that yes, real numbers can also be classified into different types. Okay? So next, we will see how real numbers are classified or types of real numbers. This is how real numbers are classified, where real numbers are broadly classified into rational number, irrational number. Again, rational number is subdivided into fractions and integers. Integers has more subdivisions, fractions has more subdivisions. Okay, so let us come to what is a rational number. So if you take a look into the word rational, rational has been derived from the word that is called as ratio. Okay, so how does a ratio look like? It is expressed in the form of P by Q, where Q is not equal to or P by Q. Okay, now how will you define a rational number? Any number that can be represented in the form of P by Q, where Q is not equal to 0, is called a rational number. Okay, so just the opposite of rational number is irrational number. Any number that cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q is called an irrational number. So irrational number, now I'm not explaining you irrational number. We will concentrate on rational number. Okay. Now rational number is divided into fractions and integers. Okay. Now what is a fraction? What is the significance of fraction? Okay. Let me take that old example of the apple or your favorite food, pizza. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I have cut down the pizza into 5 segments. Okay. Now, if I want to give you this pizza, some pieces of pizza, so how will the fraction look like? Suppose I want to give you 3 pieces of pizza. So how many pieces of pizza I am left with? I am left with 2 pieces of pizza. Up to this, is it right? Is it clear to you? Yes. Now 3 pieces of pizza out of 5 pieces I want to give you. So what will be the fraction? 3 by 5. I am giving it to. Okay. So how many pieces I have kept for myself? I have kept 2 by 5. I have kept for myself. So 3 by 5, total number of segments denotes 5 and 3 denotes the number of segments you want to give it to somebody or you want to keep it for yourself. I am explaining for the case this pizza. Okay. So 3 by 5, 2 by 5 I am keeping for myself. So if you add this, so 5 by 5 equal to 1. So this 3 segments out of 5 plus 2 segments out of 5 will give you 1 complete pizza. So if you join these 3 segments, 2 segments will give you the entire pizza. So this is the significance or beauty of fraction. Okay. Now 3 by 5. Okay, so 3 by 5, 3 denotes the numerator, 5 denotes the denominator. I think this is known to everybody. The top part is called the numerator and the bottom part into how many segments, total segments, any entire thing is divided is called the, it represents the denominator. Okay, so numerator and denominator. So based on this, fraction is divided into proper fraction and improper fraction. So what is proper fraction? When the numerator is less than the denominator is called a proper fraction. So you see here 3 is less than 4. So it is called a proper fraction. Improper fraction. So improper fraction is when the numerator is greater than the denominator is called an improper fraction. Okay. Now my question to you is that whether 3 by 4 or 4 by 3 looks like the form of a ratio, looks at the gives you the form of P by Q. Yes, it gives the form of P by Q because where 3 is equal to P, Q is 4 is equal to Q and Q is not equal to 0. So it gives you the idea that yes, it is a rational number where Q is not equal to 0. Okay. So now question may arise in your mind that why I am giving emphasis on Q not equal to 0. Why I have to mention when I write the definition of rational number, any number expressed in the form of P by Q where Q is not equal to 0. Yes, there is here also you have an explanation like this part. 3 by 5 means out of the total 5 segments, I am giving 3 segments to somebody. Means 3 is P, 3 is equal to P and 5 is equal to Q. Okay. Now as per the problem, if I write Q is equal to 0 or in other words, if I write the fraction as 3 by 0. Okay. Can you explain me what does 3 by 0 indicate? Yes, 0 means what? You are not cutting the pizza into any, means 0 means what? 5 means you have, yes, you have cut the segment into 5 pieces. 3 by 0 means what? 0 means you are not cutting or dividing the pizza at all. Isn't it? So 0, writing any number by 0 makes the entire thing of fraction meaningless. And 3 by 0, any number by 0 has some other significance where we say that it is called as infinite. Okay, so I am not going into this part. So anything by 0 we cannot write. Okay, so for this special emphasis should be given that any number represented in the form of P by Q where Q is not equal to 0 is called a rational number. So from that Q not equal to 0 should be written. This is the explanation for this. Okay. Next comes as integers. So integers are also rational numbers. Integers are divided into positive integer, negative integer. Positive integer is again divided into natural number, whole number. Okay, so natural number, the numbers that we use, there are 10 mangoes. 10 is a rational integer, is a natural number. Okay, next comes your I have 5 rupees in my wallet. 5 is also a natural number. So the numbers that we use in our day-to-day life, the positive integers that we use in our day-to-day life are natural numbers. Okay, now when we add a 0 into the set of natural numbers, it makes the complete set of positive integers. It completes the set of positive integers. So we call that it is a whole number. So positive integers are divided into two types. Natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 are the set of natural numbers, and whole number 0, 1, 2, 3 till infinite. I can name any number. I can take any number and we can say that this is a natural number or a whole number. Okay. So, other than 0. 0 is only a whole number but not natural number. We will come to this part later. Okay. So these are positive integers. Next comes as negative integers. So what are negative integers? It is very simple. If I write 4, okay, for example, if I write 4 and if I give a minus or negative sign before 4, will make it a negative integer. So in summer, if I want to summarize this, real numbers are divided into rational number, irrational number. Then rational number is divided into fractions, fraction, proper fraction, improper fraction, integers, positive integer, negative integer. Positive integer is again divided into natural number, whole number and negative integers. Okay, so this is how real numbers are being classified. Okay, we will study more details about rational numbers in the consecutive classes. I am ending the class here. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe to Learn Guru, like and share it with your friends and relatives. Your subscriptions, likes and share will motivate me to make more videos of different subjects of different standards. So for that you have to stay tuned with us. Okay, keep supporting us. So on that happy note, I want to bid all of you goodbye. Thank you very much.